Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the ORS podcast. On today's episode, we're going to talk to St. John's sophomore wing Brady Dunlap on his first year as a college player, what it's like to play for a Hall of Fame head coach, Rick Pitino, and so much more. And that's all coming up next on the ORS podcast. And we welcome you into another edition of the ORS podcast, unleashing the hoop hype of college and high school basketball across the Mountain State and beyond. And here in episode 2, we are going to do something I like to call college talk. This is the first time ever doing this, where I go ask questions to some of the underrated and top college basketball players about their experience and what their long terms are moving forward. And right now, I'm joined by St. John's sophomore wing, 6'7", out of Harvard Westlake High School, Studio City, Los Angeles, Mr. Brady Dunlap. Brady, appreciate you joining the show, man. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for coming on. First question right off the bat is, what was it like playing for your first year of college, playing in the Big East? Because, the Big East, it's like one of the best conferences in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And how it feels to play for Rick Pitino, because he's by far like one of my all-time favorite coaches and one of the best coaches in the country.
Yeah, Coach Pitino's the GOAT. He's the best coach in college basketball, in my opinion. And, he was the big decision maker for me in terms of going to St. John's in the first place. So, playing for him is a blessing, learning from someone that's been through so many, he's getting older. So he's gone through so many different experiences. So he's seen every type of player, and he's got a plan for me, which has been great. And then, the adjustment from high school to college was real for me, just in terms of, I need to gain weight, and I have this off season, and going in as a freshman in the Big East. Big East was a physical conference, and I was a skinny little white kid from California coming into New York, so it was a bit of an adjustment. But I think I've got my feet underneath me now, and I'm ready to make a big leap forward and into my sophomore year. So.
All right, that sounds good. And just talking about that freshman season, you had a couple of double-digit scoring performances. I remember it was a back-to-back whenever you guys were playing against Butler and then at Villanova, and you were shooting the lights out. You were going crazy at Villanova. It was a big win for you guys. What do you think, other than your shooting ability, like shooting really good from the outside, what do you think are the best aspects of your game other than that's helped you like a little bit? Best aspects of your game that helps not only you but helps your team succeed.
Yeah, so obviously, I need to. I pride myself on my shooting ability, but obviously I need to do better. My percentages weren't great last year. I need to, there was a few opportunities that Coach Pitino gave me that I just didn't capitalize on, whether that was just me being young and inexperienced in the moment, or just, you could blame it on a whole different. I don't mean to come up here and make excuses, but I need to be better shooting the ball first and foremost, and I think I've worked on that a lot this offseason, in terms of speed of shots, and a lot of it is strength in my legs because the practices were so long. So just building strength in those areas. In terms of what I do outside of shooting, I think I'm a very cerebral player. In terms of defensive rotations, I can help people. I can talk to people on the floor. In terms of where to go, what to do. My dad's a college coach, so I've learned a lot from him. And just in terms of thinking the game, I've been trying to develop playmaking in terms of I can always my shot is a threat. So if I pump it and get people in the air and create shots for my teammates is what I've been working on this offseason. As well as my ball handling. Coach Talik is working on trying to bring me along and into becoming a 2-3, not just a 3-2, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I just feel like those are some of the things I've been focusing on. Obviously, I need to become more laterally quick and become a better on-ball defender for Coach Pitino with how we press. And I've got a long way to go, but I think I'm one of the right people to get me to where I ultimately want to be.
All right, that sounds good. And speaking of your dad, since you mentioned him, you seem to have a close relationship with your parents. Your dad was an assistant coach at multiple colleges, and then your mom, who I saw earlier, was a CIF champion.
Yeah.
Just tell us a little bit about how your parents like helped you like both on and off the court because they seem to do a really fine job.
Yeah, no. So my dad played at UCLA and my mom played at Azusa Pacific. So they were both college athletes in the basketball world. So I've never really had, like, growing up, a parent that's, the loving parent that doesn't really know about basketball and the one that really does, or just two parents that don't know anything about basketball. I've kind of had two parents that have lived it, breathed it, gone through the conditioning, gone through all of the ups and downs of it. And so it's been a blessing just having them in my corner. Sometimes it gets annoying because they're always in my ear about things that after a game, they're always talking to me what about I could have done better or whatnot. But, having them too, especially in my life, has ultimately been one of the main reasons why I'm playing at such a high level in the Big East. I feel like it's such a blessing just to be here. And I give, all the credit to my dad because he's trained me since I was, literally like 5 years old. There's videos of me like not being able to dribble, but he's put me through some sort of drills to let me learn the fundamentals at a young age. So I give all the credit to them. It's been just a huge blessing in my life to have those two by my side, and as well as my sister. My sister has been, that person that's not so much. She's not doesn't really know much about basketball, so she's kind of been the person I talk to, and she doesn't really know what's going on, but she can give me more of a full life perspective on things. So just having just such a close knit family behind me has just been truly special for me to experience, and I'm forever humbled to have it.
I mean, that's great, man. Family is everything, and blessed with with a basketball background like yourself, man. It's definitely speaks a lot. Um, and speaking of high school, what do you mean? Like I mentioned before, you played at Harvard Westlake in California, where you won a state champ. You won the state championship your senior year, right? There was the
Hmm.
CIF. Was it the Open Division?
Yeah, open division.
Open
Yeah.
Division state championship. Um, what was it like playing for a top national team like Harvard Westlake in those 4 years, and how was the transition? I think you already asked me how the transition was from playing high school to college, right?
Yeah, nah, but in terms of just playing for like a top team, I transferred in there my sophomore year for after my freshman year at Hart, where Hart we weren't the greatest team, and we came into Harvard Westlake, and Harvard Westlake wasn't a top team in California yet. We made the Open Division the year before, but we didn't do too well, and so we were kind of ascending upwards to the eventual, like, where we are today. We're back to back, and we're thinking we might go a three-peat next year. And I've kind of was going through the growth process of that with some of my good friends still to this day, and it was fun going from a relatively local team to a team that competed on a national scale. And I take great pride in just contributing to the fact that we've made Harvard Westlake a national name, and it's starting to develop, national players. Like, some of my boys are playing on the USA team, and my boy Trent was Gatorade Player of the Year. And, it's just fun to see, the growth of that school and just playing, some sort of a role in it. And it's been really special to see. So it's been cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I just saw a few days, was it a few days ago, where one of your teammates, I can't pronounce his last name. His first name is Nick, but
Yeah, I'm in there.
he
Nick, I'm
made
in
the
there.
national team for the U18 under team for the national team. I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah, no, he's a stud. He's a stud.
Just alrighty, yeah, I know he's a good follower of the show as well, um, and kind of talk about that open division because I know in my state we don't really have anything like that. Like it's an open division like that in California. Like it's just like all the teams in the state. It's like a whole state
Yeah,
championship.
no, so, like, basically it's the best teams in the state or the best teams in the southern section, and into the state. It's you mean you get placed into the division before you go into the season, but there's a committee like the NCAA committee that selects the best 8 teams to compete in the open division, no matter what division you are technically in. So, there's Division One, Division Two, Division Three. We can start in Division Three, but if we're undefeated, we're going to play in the open division because we're one of the best teams in the state. So it's just yeah, there's Division One, and then there's Open Division, and Open Division kind of tops Division One. That's the best I could describe it to someone that doesn't really grow up in California. It's kind of confusing. So
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm from West Virginia. We're a small state, and obviously California is a very big state, so it's very different there. I mean, it's been crazy down here because they just got rid of like we do like these things called sectionals where they put us in like regions, and we have to. There's
mhm.
like section one, there's section two, and then like the top two teams from the section will play each other in the championship, then move on to regionals, and they just got rid of sectionals for next season. So obviously, it's gonna be very very weird next year in terms of that.
Yeah,
But speaking of like NCAA bat tournament stuff, like they're trying to. I know a lot of people want. There's some people. There's a heated debate on whether they want the tournament expanded. I
yeah,
mean,
no, they shouldn't do that.
I don't think so either. A lot of people are a little heated about it, and I honestly don't think that would work.
Nah, it's too beautiful of a tournament. It's the best, it's the best 2 days, really 4 days of the year. There's so much basketball you can wake up, especially in California at 9 o'clock and have games going already for the whole day. And there's upsets and like it's so beautiful right now. Like there's no reason to expand it. Like even though our St. John's, I feel like we got snubbed this year. I mean, if there was an option to expand the tournament and have us make it, I wouldn't have done that. I mean, it's just the tournament's so perfect how it is. I've always grown up with it. My dad's a college coach. I don't think there should be any change in it anytime soon. And I love the upsets every year. I love the Cinderella stories. It's why you put the hours in the off season for those those really week of shame or week of fame. But it's really beautiful. So I don't think there should be any change at all.
Yeah, it's true. Can't get rid of that feel of 68, man. It's definitely a wonderful, wonderful experience. And one last question here before you go. Just wanted to talk about that as well. What would you like to improve on moving forward? And what can we expect from this Red Storms team heading into next season?
Yeah, no, me personally, I'd like to improve on, kind of like I said, the defensive aspects of my game, just being able to defend for Coach P because he's such a defensive oriented guy in terms of like presses and there's different schemes for different teams and just being able to put the weight on so that if someone beats me, I can still bump them off their line. And the same thing on offense, when I beat someone on off the dribble, they can't bump me off my line. So in terms of just weight and strength has kind of been my big thing over this offseason. I feel like my skills are pretty good. I just need to get stronger. And then on top of that, obviously my skills need to get better. It's not like I'm some NBA player sitting here. I got to I got to work on my handle. My jump shot needs to improve, even though it's kind of my specialty as it's really going to be for the rest of my life. It needs to get better. It can always get better. My entire game can always be growing, and it should be with all the work that I try and put in. And then in terms of what St. John's, the Red Storm can expect our fans, and just college basketball in general. Coach Pitino is relentless, and he's a relentless winner. And he's recruited a bunch of guys that are also relentless winners. Like I love winning myself. I won one at Harvard Westlake. I plan to win one at St. John's with Coach P. Go to a Final Four. Contribute as best I can. Hopefully, be one of the main guys. And just I think that's the goal for this season. It was the goal last season. It was the goal, my junior year, my senior year. It's always going to be the goal to go out there and win a national championship. And I think that's something that, Coach Pitino has given the St. John's fans hope for. It's not just an NCAA tournament berth. It's to potentially make a run in the NCAA tournament, go far places and win a national championship. I'm big on manifestation and manifesting things that you want. And, there's no dreaming too small. You always want to dream big. And I feel like, the team this year, especially, me and Sim and the nucleus coming back, we know about Coach Pitino. We want to go far. We want to win it all, not just for ourselves, but mainly for Coach Pitino and the team and the fans here at St. John's that, are really diehards and loyal if they're still here. And, we're building the program back up and just to, bring some success to them and so they can talk a little crap on Twitter is just that's all we want. So
Yeah, man. I mean, Big East is, like I said before, one of the best conferences ever. I grew up watching Big East basketball. Obviously West Virginia University, my favorite college team. I still remember that 2010 Final Four. I mean, it was definitely an amazing experience for us. And I kind of have a feeling that St. John's is kind of heading that way. I mean, now that Rick Pitino is now the coach there and is helping you guys out, just seeing the production in his first full year to help you guys has been truly phenomenal. And I do wish you the best of luck moving forward for St. John's. And I have a feeling that you are going to be one of the best players to come help this team out to be on that field of 68 heading into next season. So Brady, appreciate you, man. Thanks for giving us the time, man. And make sure you guys give them a follow on social media. I think his Instagram is Brady.Dunlap.
Yep, pretty simple.
And on Twitter, it's at 11 Brady D.
Yeah, that's been my username since I was a kid.
All righty. And if you guys are brand new viewers or listeners of the ORS podcast, make sure to like and subscribe on the YouTube channel or give us a follow on our Apple podcast. And if you want to send me any questions, I'm always available on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at Ollie Reed Sports. And that's Ollie, Olly, not Ollie, but Olly. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as always, keep on keeping on.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.